Guess what, Star Citizens? It is a big day today. Alpha 3.15 has been released to the PU. And for those who don't know, there are a lot of new features in this new release. And so maybe some of you've read up on them, maybe some of you haven't, but I'm just going to go through them real quick so that everybody's up to speed on what's going on. So first of all, death now brings consequences. So if you die, you will drop all of your physical items where they are. They'll persist where they land, and they can be looted by other players or retrieved by you after you've regenerated at a hospital at a pre-selected spawn location. And speaking of pre-selected spawn locations, you're going to choose your new spawn location in the PU, and that is where you'll spawn every time. And you'll spawn inside a hospital, unless of course you have a ship that has a spawn point. But be careful out there, guys, because if you drop your stuff, it's going to persist where it is and somebody else can come and take it. So all that nice armor, your weapons, everything that's on you. So in terms of the reworked health mechanic, including hospitals, players will now enter a down state where they can call for help and be revived by others. So the head, the torso, the limbs, all of that can be injured, and it impacts your ability to move and your ability to control things. So, for example, if you have a broken arm, it could hurt your aim. A head injury may cause dizziness, and injuries are tiered. So less serious elements can be temporarily treatable, but if you do a lot of body damage, you're going to have to go to a medical facility. So there's hospitals on Orison, Grimhex, Microtech. New hospital locations are located there. And of course, they're located all across Stanton. And alongside healing all injuries, players can now choose to regenerate at the nearest hospital location following death. Medical tools and drugs. There are now various medical tools available for use in the verse, including Cure Life Medical Gun and the Grey Cat Multi-Tool Healing Attachment. Healing can be self-administered or given by another player, but the tool must be used carefully as they affect the player's blood level, and if mismanaged, it could lead to a player overdose. In terms of lootable items, the loot generation system places dynamically generated crates throughout the universe for players to discover. From planetary surfaces to landing zones, it's worth scouring all corners of the universe to load up on guns, armor, and consumables. NPCs and down enemy characters can be looted, remember, so players should always check. And speaking of inventory, there's a new personal inventory system, and the personal inventory physicalizes everything owned by the player and manages it through the Nixnax Asset Manager Mobilglass app. The size and weight of the weapons, consumables, armor, and more can impact what can be equipped. So now every journey must be well considered beforehand. You have to carefully gear up before your missions. Inventory space is limited, but if you have a ship with weapon lockers and personal storage, those can be used to store additional equipment, making long trips more manageable. Lots of new missions, infiltrate and defend, lots to do. Of course, all of you have seen the Origin 400i, just an absolutely beautiful ship. That's a new ship release, and it's flyable in 3.15, along with the Crusader A2 Hercules. This is a bomber variant of the Crusader military hauler, so now you can bomb ground installations. Thanks to this complement of S-10 bombs, you can do additional S3 bombs, remote turrets. It's a serious piece of equipment. And speaking of bombing, that's a new feature in 3.15. Spaceships capable of dropping explosives benefit from a full complement of offensive capabilities that can be unleashed upon unsuspecting targets across Stanton and beyond. And they've changed the armor, as you guys will see later in the video. They have new heavy armor, and it looks totally different than what we've seen in the past. So lots of different armor types to explore. And finally, we have Orison V2. And as all of you know, Orison is a performance killer, and it made its debut in Alpha 3.14, and I don't think there was a machine on the planet that was capable of running Orison at high frame rates, due partly to the game machine, but also because of the server. So they've added some things over at Orison, including Cousins Crow's Custom Craft, Providence Surplus, Crusader Showroom, and other additions. So head over to Stanton and check out Orison. In terms of 3.15, things are still a little bit buggy. You guys will notice that in the video there's going to be players, NPCs that don't have bodies, so you'll just see a head walking around. If you're a miner, unfortunately the overview is still bugged out, at least it is for me. Let me know in the comments below if the overview is working for you. You can't get a mass on when you're pinging mines out there in the halo, so you have to get closer, you have to wait for them to spawn, and then you can finally start seeing how much mass they have, and you'll see that here in this video as well towards the end. Still not able to get out of the prospector 100% of the time. You know, sometimes when you are mining, if you couldn't scan an object, the fix was to get out of the prospector, exit it, and then come back in. But as you'll see at the end of the video, I had to commit suicide because I wasn't able to exit the prospector. So still some bugs out there, but overall, I think it's a pretty good release. You'll notice that performance seems to be much better. You can compare performance in this video to performance that I've had in other videos. I always put the performance overlay up from NVIDIA, and I think that you'll notice the 99th percentile FPS is higher overall, and so much better performance. The game feels smoother now that it's released in the PU. It plays better. It just feels much better, but it may not be that way for everybody. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for the feedback. Any feedback you want to provide, please put that in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you like my videos. We'll be producing more. And for those that don't know, the channel is not just about Star Citizen. We're also going to be doing other things like network attached storage, networking, firewalls, lots of cool stuff, so that you can all geek out. And WAN load balancing, 2 internet connections at the house, just a lot of cool things that we're going to be doing in the future. So hit that like and subscribe button, hit the bell for future updates, and get out there into the universe and start earning. Talk to you all soon.